Good afternoon and welcome to Pembroke Cricket Club on Park Avenue in Sandymount in Dublin 4. And this is a little bonus match for us this season. This is a refix of a game that fell foul of the weather earlier. Just give me 1 second there, please. And Phoenix are today's visitors. McDara gets us underway. The first ball slapped away to square leg for 4 runs. That's a great start for Phoenix, not so much for Pembroke. But this is T20. This is all going to be helter-skelter. Malahide, is it? Thank you very much. I'm glad you know. Zach Micklewright it is. You can see him in the corner of your screen. And now you can't. Oh, it's straight up in the air. 4 off the first ball, wicket off the second. Good start for McDara, good start for Pembroke. 4 for 1 in the first over. Well, what a start that is for Pembroke. First wicket off the second ball. First ball scooted away to the boundary. And the batsman looked to repeat the trick with the second ball. And unfortunately, it wasn't there for him. He got a leading edge too early onto it. And it went straight up in the air. And Greg Hollis took the simplest of catches. We will, of course, be bringing you the graphics, as Niall often does. The least I can do for you, though. Well, doesn't appear to be on live scoring as yet. However, I can assure you, 4 for 1 is the score thus far. And McDara continues with this opening over. And this one a dot ball. So we've had a bit of everything in the first 3 balls. We've had a boundary, we've had a wicket, and now we've seen a dot ball. Many thanks to the 5 of you who have tuned in for this. This is a vital game for Pembroke seconds. Oh, this one's a bit short. It's pulled away. Zach Micklewright, though, will do the fielding. Of course, it's 6:30 down in Cape Town at the moment. And we wonder if the family of Micklewrights have tuned in again today. Lisa was with us at the weekend. This is a second 11 game. Zach Micklewright now adding to his total. Most games played in the club this year. He's already reached the 30 mark. This is his 31st game playing for Pembroke. I think he's enjoyed 3 of them. McDara to continue. And it's another wicket. 2 gone, edge of the bat, through to the keeper again. McDara and Hollis strike again, and suddenly Malahide are 2 down in the first over. 4 runs on the board, and just the 2 wickets down, and McDara having a great start here. Well, here we are in the first over, and it's batsman number 4 coming in. Number 3 didn't last particularly long. He's been and gone. And by my understanding, that takes McDara to 16 or 18 wickets. I couldn't find the live score. I couldn't get this screen working. There's loads you haven't taught me yet.
I thought that one was up, so.
But I did hit go live, and we've caught the first 2 wickets, albeit at a bit of a distance. That second camera will be with us very shortly.
Well, considering the mess they've made of the cable at the other end.
Wasn't me.
No. When they moved the side screen for a right arm round to open.
Yes.
And
I saw right-hander, I thought, oh, good. And then he said right arm around. I thought, oh, my word, that's even worse than left arm over. So the aforementioned Zach Micklewright will be bowling from the nursery end. Bit early for SMC to be watching at this stage. But his advertising sign, well, he certainly got his money's worth out of that one. It's been up for 18 years now. Now we have a new fielder in our vicinity. Mr. Murray with us today. How's school?
Good, yeah.
Good to be back? Hey, don't do much in the first couple of days anyway. It's when they lay down all the laws and tell you what you're not allowed to do. 7 hours of study every evening, you know, that sort of thing has to be done. So, Zach Micklewright, left arm over, and the first one gets pushed up to mid-on, where it's fielded quite cleanly by Dale McDonough. Oh, look at the work you've done there. Fabulous work. No. And he's off again. Another good ball played up in the air, and again, straight to Dale McDonough. It's not getting through him at the moment, that's for sure. Dio Halloran, he's seen 2 wickets falling at the other end, and now he gets to face some pace. This one a bit shorter, giving the batsman no room in at the body. 3 dots in a row. Well, it certainly has been eventful. Just to bring you up to date with what's happening here at the moment. The umpire's just having a word with the bowler. But there you see it. Timsy Kadugja. Well, he only lasted 2 balls. One of them was smacked away for 4, and the other one saw the end of him. And then Abden Doyle getting a first baller. And now we have David O'Halloran and Mohit Sain Asani. And that one is hit away to the boundary. 4 more runs onto the total. And O'Halloran will move on to 5, and Malahide will move on to 9. 9 for 2 off 10 balls, suggesting Pembroke will be chasing a total somewhere in excess of 120. Unless they can keep taking all these wickets. 2 in the first over. You'd have thought it might have encouraged the captain to have tried spin from both ends. But he's stuck with Micklewright. And why wouldn't he? Busiest man in the club this year. Just 2 balls left in this, the second over. Well, after that wide. That one goes straight through the batsman. And they scamper through for a bite. And that shows the intent of this Malahide side here. It is only a T20. Plenty of time. A little wave from Captain Joe down to the media centre. He's right on the edge of the ring at third. So, as well as right arm around, Malahide are going to have to face the left-hand bowling of Zach Micklewright. Sumit Kumar, left armer as well. And then you've got the 2 Murrays, both of whom have taken wickets. As a combination, I think they've taken 55 wickets so far this season. One of them has 32 and the other one has 23, which would be 45, not 55. we go, a bit of ground effect music. Dale McDonough chatting away in the outfield. Joe very quiet at the moment. Crinkly paper can only mean one thing. Milk chocolate raisins. Samit Kumar bowling from the St John's end. A lot of shoulder in Summit's bowling these days. He has got rid of that little stutter he had last year. He hasn't quite worked up to full pace again. Another 4. Well, Malahide seem to be dealing in 4s at the moment. Nothing wrong with the scoring rate, that's for sure. However, those 2 early wickets may put the brakes on for Malahide. Very full length from Samit Kumar and a great piece of fielding by Dale McDonough. You'd expect nothing else. 3 runs saved there, that's for sure. Covered the ground quickly. Kept his eye on the ball. Got his hands down there. And effected a lovely piece of fielding. Samit will be pleased with that. On this occasion, better ball. Batsman just punches it out. Beautifully played, just dropped down to third. They'll just take the single. Demonstrating that not every shot has to reach the boundary. See Bruce Whaley on the sideline, another one who looks far more respectable come the late days of August, early days of September as he returns to school. Nice ball from Kumar, just played out in the offside. That's the over up. 3 overs gone, 18 for 2 on the board. So, 4th over. Mickle right to continue from the nursery end. Well, they call through for the run late, but they get there safely enough. Another one onto the total. Dugout, they'll take the single anyway. Bit of hesitation, but not too much. This is one of 2 games that Pembroke seconds have left. At the moment, they're 20 and a half points ahead of Railway Union, having won 1 more. 1 game more. Pembroke only had 2 no results, so they're half a game ahead, really, of Railway Union, assuming that Railway win. Malahide currently sitting in 4th. They're 4 and 4. They're out of the title race at this stage, although mathematically they could still win the league if they get 202 points, but that would involve Pembroke losing, which would mean that Malahide win, which would mean Railway were likely to get ahead of them anyway. So all to play for Pembroke, not so much to play for Malahide. Your hair grows very quickly, do you know that? $21 for 2 then, after 3.5. Nearly at the end of the 4th over. Very still evening this evening compared to recent weeks. Hardly any wind at all today. Well, that's beautifully played away, but it's straight at the fielder. Oh, direct hit would have had the backing up batsman in trouble. As it is, it wasn't a direct hit, and he got back in time. Just the 4 off the over from Micklewright. Fine over from him. And what is going to be very much a helter-skelter sort of game. 20-over game. It's a refix of a league game. I couldn't tell you when the league game was meant to be played.
Whenever one of us was in a cup final. Forgotten.
Oh, you mean the teams were in a cup final? I thought you meant us in a cup final. Malahide had National Cup or something.
Well, we have Senior Cup and wonder where the missing pieces.
Kumar to continue. That one just creeping back in there to the batsman. Mr. Sweary's back today. Good ball. Right in at the stumps. Exactly what Pembroke are looking for. Consistent line and length. Gupta doing the fielding. Good to see him back from injury. He's been missed, not just by the seconds. He feels he would have got a few opportunities with the first this year. Certainly considered to be one of the star players for Trinity College, Dublin University Cricket Club. This one nearly taking the inside edge. And careering back onto the stumps. It wasn't to be for Summit on this occasion. Well, it's a big swipe. The pressure getting to the batsman very quickly. 3 dots and a single. meant that the next ball was a big, big swipe. Wasn't to be on this occasion, no contact made. This time, flowing full face of the bat, can only steer the ball to the fielder in the ring on the offside. It's another dot ball. What a great over for Pembroke. Really pegging Malahide back here now. Run rate dropping to 4.4 as they're 22 for 2 in a Richie Benno sort of way. It's one you need Johnny Bell for, really. Well, himself and Kieran Sharp vying for the best impression of the great man. Captain your country. Become a legend on the pitch. And then off the pitch, he became the voice of cricket. Well, Pembroke's summer coming close to an end now, of course. This Saturday sees the first team in a vital game with Rush. If they can get 23 points, they'll have won the championship in time for the annual dinner. Or if, for every point that Phoenix don't get, it's one less that Pembroke do have to get. So, left arm spin, one of 3 left-handers in the side. Left arm around. Donica Tucker. Again, one of the leading. He's certainly in line looking for club awards in a couple of weeks' time. Nick Stapleton, unsurprisingly, has taken the most wickets in Pembroke this year, up at 44. This one, he attempted to give it a bit more air, and it ended up being a full toss, and it bounces just between 2 fielders out the boundary. They both converge on it, and they pick up 2 runs. This one played up to long on, just a single taken. Score moves on to 25. I like this move from Joe Prendergast going to spin. I think I can see Fiacre Tucker out there as well. So plenty of options in the bowling department for Joe Prendergast today, and that's before we even get to him. One of the Murrays warming up at square leg. That may be more in hope than expectation. And Donica Tucker to continue. This one played away, fielded in the ring. Sunil Gupta, well, he's had his injury problems this year. Great to see him back again. This one a bit wide. It slapped away through the offside. 1 bounce 4. Nice bit of fielding in front of the clubhouse. This proving to be a slightly more expensive over for Pembroke than previous ones, as Tucker tries to find his groove. Bruce Whaley almost looks like a salesman there. And that's another one racing out to the boundary. It gets there quite handily. You see the top left button? Press that. Yep. He hasn't hooked himself up properly yet. It's not connected.
You saw how late I was arriving today?
Yeah.
As opposed to about 3 hours earlier today.
And that's why I came down to try and give you a hand. Well, another change of bowling now from the St John's end. Joe is certainly not letting the batsman settle to any one style of bowling. We'll have a look at the bowling figures so far, and you'll see just what I mean. If you look at that, we've only had the 6 overs and already 4 bowlers used. And this will be the 5th Joe Prendergast from the St John's end. Now, of course, with the change of action, is a change of angle for our camera. Joe's going to have to bowl outside the off stump. Big blow down towards the car park. It's not going to get there in one go, is it? 6 runs, the first maximum we've seen today. And O'Halloran, he does it off the keyboard, but I couldn't tell you what to press. Because you might press something and get it to change, but how do you change it back would be my question then. Well, Joe won't be happy. Well, chance missed, another 6, and that's 2 6s from Joe. Joe's bowling. That's the sort of thing that does not improve his mood, that's for sure. Halloran playing quite sensibly to that third ball of the over, as Joe finds a better line and length to bowl down. Oh. Joe having a slight discussion with the umpire about what a wide is. Joe saying that that one went straight over the stumps as the batsman moved across. Well, that's better from Prendergast. 2 dots, 1 wide and 2 6s so far in this over. Malahide now just on the brink of crossing the 50 run mark. And this time he goes for the ramp successfully, so it's chased all the way to the boundary by Gupta, but he won't get there, and that's another 4, and this is a magnificent over for Malahide. This is just what they needed. They did lose 2 wickets in that first over. The over bowled by McDara Cosgrave. Joe always keen to get on with the action. Changes his mind as he trying to work out what the batsman's going to do this time. It looks like stand and deliver is the way he's aiming to go. Prendergast's last ball of this over. Oh, he's pulled out again. Joe doing his best to get under the skin of the batsman. The spectators, the media centre. Well, an expensive over for Pembroke. Good over for Malahide. 18 coming from that. And after 7 overs, there's the batting card, and O'Halloran, he's not hanging around. Just 24 balls to get to his 32. And Sane is 11 off 14, but he's not getting much at the strike at the moment, and certainly O'Halloran enjoyed that Prendergast over. Have we time to just take a quick look at the bowling figures to date? And we'll look at them quite quickly because I don't think Joe's going to be overly happy with his. Donna Kataka went for 11, and Prendergast went for 18. 29 scored in the last 2 overs. And that's a big change for Pembroke. Well, 6 off the first ball. And although Pembroke got off to an absolute flyer of a start, it's not been going quite as well since. as I say, the last 2 overs and 1 ball, 35 runs have come from. Certainly O'Halloran, he's in the mood tonight. That one just punched down the ground. And Mo hit Sarah Sanye. He'll finally get a good look at the bowling. He's faced basically half as many balls as O'Halloran has. They've both been there since the first over. They're putting together a bit of a partnership now. In fact, they've reached the 50 partnership. They're a partnership of 53 now with that 6. Nicely dropped down to third. Kumar comes round, neat bit of fielding, keeps it tidy, just a single. Pembroke looking for a wicket here, and it's the wicket of O'Halloran that they really want. So although they're taking risks with him facing at the moment, the mood he's in, you want him facing because it's the best way to get him out. Short punch past the fielder in the ring. Tucker it is out in the boundary, sending that one back on. Dale. Dale again. He's all action today. Bit more air from Tucker. This time it is fielded in the ring. And that's a much better over for Tucker. His first went for 11. This one went for 9. 60 for 2 then, off 8 overs. And they're certainly well over 7 now, 7.5 and over. This second 11 Premier League game. If they win this one, it could put Pembroke well in line for the league title. They also have a cup final this weekend. Cup final on Sunday in Balbriggan. Slower ball from Prendergast does the trick. Just keeps it down to a single. This one played down to third, but as third's inside the ring now, no single possible there. These two sides will meet again on Sunday in the cup final. Second 11 cup final. I don't know what the cup is called. They've gone big. There is a fielder down there, but it doesn't matter.
No, it's there, I see it, man. Yeah, but it's the other side of the fence. You might be able to just hop through. Went through the...
Well, as we wait to see if they can pop this one through the fence, I'd suggest that if you can pop it through the fence, it's not a very good fence.
Bring it down to the bottom, you'll get underneath.
67 for 2. Ball missing and another 6 off Joe's over. He's bowled 9 balls and we've seen 25 runs come from those 9 balls. I tell you, I wouldn't want to be in the Prendergast house tonight. I suspect there'll be a little stomping around. He's not happy with this. Not back to full form yet after his recent medical issues. Slower ball, more accurate, that's better. Another big shot. And it goes for 6. If Fiacre Tucker could have got up for that one, he'd be considering a career in the NBA. Prendergast's slower ball seems to be going better than the quicker balls. .74 for 2 then, as we go into the final over before the halfway mark. And considering that Malahide lost those 2 wickets in the first over, they've done really well to get where they are now, and most of it is down to Dio Halloran. 42 from 29, going along very nicely indeed. Donica Tucker again for his 3rd. Prendergast 2 overs for 32. That is not what he wanted. This one hit back down the ground. Long on collects, throws it back in. Mohit Sahni. Goes for the big shot. We reckon that this game has been refixed because one or t'other of the teams were...
Both of them they're playing each other in a final, yes?
Yes, they'll meet again in Balbriggan on Sunday. It'll be a completely different game then. The full overs, full 50 overs, I suspect. Weather permitting, of course. It's a dreadful summer when you have to say weather permitting. But we do, and we will. Well, that wasn't anywhere near where O'Halloran wanted to hit it, but he won't mind. He'll come back for 2. That will move him on to 44. It is overcast. There's a little bit of a breeze, but it's a southerly breeze tonight. A bit warmer than we have been in recent days, weeks, months even. I think the last time we had a decent day was back in June. This one's hit out towards Cal, but there is a fielder down there. Zach Mickle right it is, doing the fielding. His left-handedness coming in handy. And that's the end of Tucker's over. Donica Tucker. Better over for him. Just 6 coming from it. 26 for none off 3 overs for Tucker. He's only got the 1 left now. And Prendergast coming in for his 3rd over. The captain, Joe Prendergast, having absolutely faith in his own ability. It hasn't gone well for him so far, but he still has that confidence and that faith that he can pick up this wicket. He can keep these runs down. Just making the adjustments in the field. Big inside edge off that, Joe. They get through for the single. Oh, that's a big hit. That could land in railway. That's gone all the way
acceleration there.
You're standing right next to the microphones. And whilst they take a break to look for the ball or get another one, we'll just take a short break too. Now we have the situation where the balls have come back from the garden, but the player has gone into the dressing room looking for another ball. So Pembroke just with 10 on the field at the moment. And the score has moved on to 80 for 2. O'Halloran now just one shot away from his half century, but it's Sane who will be doing the facing first off after hitting that glorious 6. Oh, that's a much slower, wider ball. You can see what Joe was trying to do. It hasn't worked, and in fact, it's gone for 5 wides. And this is a horror story from which Joe Prendergast doesn't seem to be able to wake at the moment. It's not his ideal situation. 11 off the first 2 balls, and one of those balls hasn't counted. I heard it.
Even bikes.
I heard it.
Oh, look at those.
What happened?
Going through everybody's right speaker. Now, Joe Prendergast, I think he's been in better moods than he is right now. Now the umpire stops him for a second. Signalled not as a wide, but as a no ball.
Missed the pitch.
Missed the pitch. The only thing that stopped the overthrow there was how much they overran the first single. Throw at the stumps despite the call of hold. 80 for 2 off 10. Well, we know it's more than that. 92 now. This one onto the pads, runs away. It's a dot ball. Joe certainly getting the support of his team. This one is out to long on. And another delivery slips by. 10 off the over so far. Well, Mohit Sane went across his stumps, tried to play at it, missed it, and it's on its way. No, yes, it is Sane on his way. He's scored 34 off 28, and these two have put on 89. Partnership of 89 for the third wicket, which finally falls with the score on 94. And Joe Prendergast now has the figures of 1 for 42 from 3 overs. It's not what you'd normally want, is it? Well, Joe was pretty confident with the appeal, and Mohit gets a bit of applause as he goes in. And that's a super wicket for Pembroke. They needed that. They had to break that partnership. They'd already put on 89, and they're racing along here. They're going to be putting up a very big total for Pembroke to chase with 9 overs left now. They still have 7 wickets. And Pembroke will do well to pull them back under 150, 160. I mean, 9 overs, 54 balls, run a ball. Takes them up to 148. No, you're the oracle on this one. You have first guess, and then we'll all guess around you again. It really does depend on how many wickets Pembroke can take at this stage. That one's too short. It's hit back at Tucker. It gets past his fingers. Despairing grasp.
Pessimistic. 174.
Pessimistic for who? That could be pessimistic for Malahide, the way they've been going so far. And O'Halloran's still out there. He's been joined by Doyle. Doyle with a big swing of the bat. Just plays it out, really, to Joe at extra cover. JP. You can tell from his body language that he's not in great form there. Another short one from Tucker. Another one for Prendergast, put his body behind. Joe needs just to rein the emotion back in there, I think, a bit. He's certainly wearing his heart on his sleeve at the moment. Oh, that really is too short. It's pulled out to cow corner, but we both know that Zach Micklewright is out there, and he'll save 2 runs. Malahide will get 2 runs. They move on to 98, and D. O'Halloran has reached a very well-deserved half-century. He's made his 51 from just 37 balls, and he's been helped in some regards by some average bowling from some of the Pembroke bowlers. You get the feeling now that having reached his half-century, he's going to actually go and try and accelerate. It could be his downfall. It's gone big out to the corner, and Zach Micklewright can only chase it through the covers. And it goes right into the corner. And O'Halloran has decided, obviously, that 50 off 37 wasn't quick enough. Another expensive over for Tucker. One of the leading wicket takers in the club this year, has 32 wickets to his name. Another big shot to one in the slot, and that's gone for 6 as well. And this is an exhibition of hitting here by O'Halloran. Himself and Sane had a partnership of 89. And a very vital one it was too. Malahide had lost 2 early wickets in that first over. It hasn't affected them a bit since. 1-1-1 for 3. And Tucker ends his spell 0 for 43. So, change of bowling now at the St John's end. Joe Prendergast takes himself off and he brings on Fiacre Tucker. Doyle just shovels that really into the leg side. They take a single. And it's McDarragh Cosgrave fielding out in the deep. Not quite cow corner. I think. Shake it. No, they're in the other one. Doyle gives himself plenty of room. If you're going to swipe, swipe hard. Gets away with one, gets the single for it, but more importantly, brings O'Halloran back on strike. He's on 64 now off 40 deliveries. Just hit down the ground. Captain JP does the fielding, gets it back into the bowler. Well, Doyle is leading a charmed life at the moment. He does it again. It's in the air. There's a chance, but it's going to land short of the fielder. Well, the only thing I'll say is Malahide using up all their luck before the cup final. It's the only positive thing I could think of to say within earshot of Captain Joe Prendergast. "13 overs gone now. The scorer moving on to 116 for 3. Vehicle Truckers first over, just going for 5, which in light of recent history is a very good over. Well, this is the bowling change, but now he's coming on from the other end. And Darragh Cosgrave, you can see his figures. He opened the bowling, 2 for 5 off his first over. And since that,
Got the thanks very much. You're done.
yeah, got the Spanish elbow. What's that? Spanish archer elbow. So now Prendergast turns back to his opening bowler. Too short. Over the head of the fielder. 4 runs. And if you look around the field now, Pembroke fielders, well, I can tell you, Pembroke fielders are in various different stages of body language. Arms crossed, arms held behind the back, teapot. There's a bit of everything there. This one's too short as well. It's flown away to third. Sumit Kumar chasing it down. Is he going to get there? I don't think so. And I'm right. Don't want to be right, but I am. And it's another 4 successive 4s then. Noel's also become a meteorologist because he stands out there and he feels the rain before anybody else. Played away on the offside. The fielder gets down, gets something on it, saves 3 runs. I tell you, Del McDonough won't give up. He'd be the guy on the Titanic saying, "Where's this hole I need to fix?" No, he's gonna undo the front. Do you want to move it forwards, Noel? The gazebo. No, but another short one. This whole over has been just short deliveries, not deliberately, I'm sure, but it's just sitting up to be hit, and that's now 3 4s and a single. O'Halloran back on strike, and he's making the most of this. 6 for that, and that's not a short boundary over there either. Nowhere near the Barry McCarthy hit of 96.5, although he tells me it went the other side of the railway line and should actually be over 100 metres. Did that in a Leinster Lightning game earlier this season. That's much better. Inside edge. Once he put it up to O'Halloran, it made a big difference to the outcome. Nearly a run-out chance, but still 16 off this over so far. Played away on the offside. We haven't seen too much played out that way. It tends to be more cow corner and straight. That's where the big hits have come from. And after 14 overs, the score has moved on to 133 for 3. Well, if there's a score that's synonymous with Richie Benno of 222 for 2, then surely a score of anything 33 for 3 has got to be an Irish person's, Irish commentator's favourite number. You're in. Figo Chugger, second over. Doyle again using that smear shot to good effect. Good pick up and throw by Prendergast, and good backing up on the far side. Joe very fortunate on the seconds to have cheerleaders like Dale keep the fielders going, and perhaps things aren't quite going the way Joe would want. Good ball from Tucker, nearly beating the batsman, but instead it's 4 runs. I think your 170 something is outside the pale. As long as O'Halloran keeps going. Evening, Shauna. Doyle again. He does enjoy this cross-bat shot. He's just smearing the ball, really. This one's clipped out to JP. He goes in to field this. It's a high one. And it's another one that lands on Cyril's way. This one stays this side of the fence. It's another 6. The score goes on to 146. And now we go into the last 5 overs. And they're basically scoring, well, 9 3/4 and over. It's going to be an interesting chase anyway. If Pembroke chase this down, it'll be amazing. It's going to be a big, big total chase down. One of the biggest T20 totals I've seen here. Now, that having been said, I saw the Leinster Lightning last year, and that was just ridiculous. But in a club game, below first team level, on a Thursday night, starting at 4:30, this is definitely the biggest total I've seen at Sydney Parade, while sat down at this end of the ground. Yeah, that was a good game. The 2's here. Oh, Gabby's 150 in a T20, yes. Yes, but although Gabby scored 150, I don't think the rest of the side scored that much, actually. And it was firsts. Nice shot again, smeared away on the offside, and that will run away to the fence. And that brings up the 150 for Malahide. And what an innings this has been. We certainly didn't see it going this way at the end of the first over. End of the first over, yes, there were 5 runs on the board, but there were 2 wickets down. Pembroke were cock-a-hoop. They thought they were into Malahide at that stage. And since then, this is another 50 partnership. O'Halloran now on 83, Doyle on 20, 150 for 3. Samit now, and O'Halloran, Doyle, well, he's got his eye in. He had a couple that he mistimed and mishit earlier on, but got away for runs. On this occasion, it came off the middle of the bat, which suggests he feels like he's in now. I'm not going to show you the worm. Not until 20 over mark. And we'll see what sort of mountain Pembroke have to climb. All I can tell you is it's getting steeper. He looks just to play that one down to third. Yes. Afterwards, the practice shot, often the more correct shot to have played, and the smear through the offside, which brought him 4 the delivery before, would have been the right shot. But on this occasion, he chose to try and run it down to third. Almost premeditating what he's going to do with Kumar. Kumar left arm over, bringing the ball across him. Oh, this one comes off the bottom of the bat. And Pembroke are having absolutely no luck in this innings at all. That just came off the toe end of the bat. Nobody could chase that one down. Another 4 on the board. And the runs just keep coming. Even Kumar now, 3 fours out of 4 deliveries. Blue sky and cloud. Well, if you are in the area this evening, I would suggest coming down here because, to be honest with you, it's going to be some chase, or you won't have to be down for very long. So why not come and spend your Thursday evening? The bar is open, I think. Start your weekend early. 'Tis the dinner on Saturday. Luckily enough, I have the men's firsts against Rush on the ground. That will keep me out of the bar for a few hours anyway. Is it open? Oh, there are windows open anyway. That could be just airing. I think I can see inside through the middle window. Big shot again from Doyle. He's looking for that gap again on the offside boundary on this occasion. Too close to McDowell Cosgrave. Just take the single. And that over's finished. 13 from it. And the score has moved on to 158 for 3. This partnership now worth 65. And O'Halloran has contributed 35 of those. But Doyle, off just 19 balls, has moved on to 29, as you see. And this is going exceptionally well for Malahide. They'll be delighted. Currently fourth. Currently fourth on the log. Pembroke top. But Pembroke can ill afford to throw away these points.
Let's see where we ended up.
If they lose this game and Railway win their next one, it could be that there'll be half a point between the 2 teams at the top of the table.
Nearly equally bad each way.
Railway currently on 180.5 and Pembroke currently on 201. So this second 11 Premier League could really be going down to the wire. Niall still has his hand out, feeling for the rain. I think he's wishing for it at this stage. I certainly know Joe Prendergast will be. 159 for 3. 4 overs to go. And Zach Micklewright starts with a very full delivery. And Doyle again using the cross-bat shot to push it down the ground, gets the single.
It's gone from drizzle to mizzle in the time since long before I moved that in.
Temperature has dropped a little. Oh, you went that way.
When you said large, didn't you?
Thank you very much. No, neither was I. I didn't say large, I said tea. Because I thought she was going that way. Did you get chocolate on top as well?
There is chocolate on top.
Yeah, look, you're getting spoiled. Many thanks to Amanda for bringing the coffee and Danishes. Stop me eating the chocolate-covered raisins. Oh, that one's wide, that's high, it's played away beautifully. That is certainly shot of the day in my book. In fact, that may be the prettiest shot I've seen all year. It's a shame we don't have replays. You do on YouTube, of course, if you just tap the left-hand side of your screen or press back or whatever, it goes back for 10 seconds. And you can be 10 seconds behind for a minute. That signalled a no ball, but it's beautiful the way O'Halloran, once he saw where it was coming to, he was quick and bigly, no doubt, to play it down to third, and it cleared the fielder by a good mile or two, and it was a bigly six. Out of the back of the hand, played away on the leg side this time. It comes down Joe bouncing in front of him. He collects it and keeps it to a single.
It has rain and
It's a low cloud, and there's a good sound coming from Dublin Docks.
actually is just
You can hear the Docks. Big swing of the bat from Doyle this time. You want to go?
Here, come on. It's set up for you size-wise.
You can hold that if you want. If that's easier. Being joined in the commentary box now, Jake Bell. Afternoon, Jake. So what do you think so far?
A lot of runs here.
There certainly has been a lot of runs. Succinct and accurate. Nickel Wright goes slow.
Shot.
Cut away into the offside. They're going to take two. They're taking on the arm.
Oh,
And he's out, run out.
great wicket there.
oh no.
He's been given out.
Acknowledged.
Hmm?
I think Zach's acknowledged that he didn't have the ball.
That's what it was. Absolutely. The umpire gave it out, but it turned out that Michael Wright immediately turning around to the umpire and informing him that he didn't, in fact, have the ball in his hand when he broke the stumps, and that's why there was no jubilation from him. And it does mean, however, that the umpire has reversed that decision, as this wasp is hanging around my head now. Hiya, Theo. You don't want to know.
Oh, 3 wickets. 17 overs gone.
And the score is?
173 for 3.
Excellent. Top work, top work. Well, Fiacre Tucker now coming on to bowl from the nursery end. Do you like Fiacre's bowling?
Yep.
It's for you to
Yep.
cricket clips of how it looks a player.
Well,
173. Oh,
played away to the boundary. McDarragh Cosgrave doing the fielding. Just keeps it to a single.
oh. Jeez. Great dive, great fielding there.
Well, the way this game has gone so far, Malahide have used up all their luck for the cup final on Sunday.
Yep. They went for the 4, but they won't get it.
Well, I can tell you here and now, David O'Halloran, he's on 95, and he's having the innings of his season. Before today, he'd scored 62 runs. Moves on to 99 with a boundary. His previous highest, 16 not out.
180 for 3.
And yes, before today, he was averaging 10.3. And it looks like he's going to certainly be increasing that number. You think he's going to get his 100?
Yep.
And there it is.
There's his 100.
100 in a 20 over game. That's brilliant work, isn't it?
Yep. It's brilliant work by
O'Halloran.
O'Halloran.
Well, I tried. Doyle on 33, not out. But O'Halloran is the one who's passed the century mark. Doyle now goes big down the ground. The captain's down there. It beats, bounces and beats him to the boundary. Another 4 runs.
It's a great 4 there.
Absolutely super 4. Doyle moves into the 40s now. Oh, up to 37 now. That's the end of the over. Just 2 overs remaining now. No, it's still Doyle. There we go. D. O'Halloran, 100 not out off 53 balls, strike rate of 188. He's been going magnificently since he came in the first over. 7 4s and 7 6s. 70 of his runs coming from boundaries, which shows he hasn't been adverse to galloping up and down the paddock as well. And now he's playing the tricks of the game. Lovely ramp shot, and it's a ramp shot that's gone for 4.
I'll ask her if she's going to do it. Yeah, and I'll see if it is. Yeah.
193.
Listening to that conversation?
I am.
183.
No, this is a public conversation.
So who is it you're bringing to the dinner? Can't come to the dinner, but she'll be at the awards night. Just beware. Have to be careful when there's microphones around, don't you?
Yep.
No swearing.
Yep. No swearing.
No being nasty about people.
Yep.
Zach Mickle right now, bowling the 19th over. His 3 overs to date cost 23.
Oh, he went for the scoop there.
He's gone again for the scoop.
And it's gone for 4. Jeez, he went for the scoop there.
Well, O'Halloran, when he reached his half century off just 37 balls, we thought he'd gone quickly. But of course, it's only taking him another 19 to get to his century and more. He's on 108 now.
193 for 3. So we're going to get 200 here.
Well, they'd certainly hope to get 200, wouldn't they?
Ooh. Nicely played.
They're going to look for 2. They're taking on the arm. It's gone through the fielder, and 2 will be easy. Doyle gets the second one done quickly and is looking for a third. But of course, O'Halloran, he wants to face. He wants to keep going.
We're going to get 200 here. 195.
You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. They're going to go past 200. Question is, how far past?
Oh,
It's big, it's down the ground, it's over the fielder.
6 it goes.
Another 6 is signalled, and that's 201. The 200 is up now for Malahide. Well, their players at the sideline absolutely engrossed in this at the moment. Every single one of them is out watching this. 201 for 3. These two came together with the score on 94. They've put on 107.
Oh, it's a great shot. Will it go for 4? No, it won't.
Well, that's a good piece of fielding.
Oh. Great fielding.
I think Pembroke will be happy they took 2.
Well, there you go. A partnership of 109 off just 48 balls between these two. Dio O'Halloran contributing 70% or 70 runs out of that 109.
Off 24. It's nearly a 3.
Nearly 3 a ball, isn't it? That's amazing.
Just too short.
Doyle hardly hanging around himself. He's batting at 150. And they're running on anything at this stage.
Definitely O'Halloran on strike.
Oh, don't you just look at that. 118 off 59. Batting at 200. Doyle was batting at 150. Well, that 200 is going to go up a bit now with another 4 past the fielder at square leg.
That's a great 4 there.
This is 5 balls left to go. What do you think the final score is going to be?
So it's going to be 290 or 19.
That's a good guess at this stage. Do you like chocolate-covered raisins?
This.
You get a couple out of there. Niall, do you want another one?
This.
Most polite co-commentator I've had this season. Seems to be a lot of mist and fog down at the port. You can hear all the horns going in the background.
Yep, you can definitely can.
And at the moment, we're minus a ball. 208 for 3. This is a formidable target for Pembroke to chase down. It's going to involve a lot of risk. While they're looking for that ball, well, they found it, they've brought it back. How are Pembroke going to chase down this total? You look around, there are a few good big bats out there. Great to see Sonil Gupta back again, captain of Trinity. Greg Hollis, he's having some season as well.
Yep.
He's got over 500 runs. But he hasn't got them in a T20 all night, and that's another 6 straight over the fence at the end of Park Lane. And it lands in the O'Rourke's garden. Gone are the days when you used to be able to just climb in there and get that one back.
Yep.
These days I think it would, well, it wouldn't be polite. It might be
Give
quite
them back.
scary for Anne O'Rourke to see people bursting through her back garden. Anyway, another ball has come out. The score's moved on to 214. Goes down on one knee, pulls it round the corner.
Oh,
And they get home for another 2. Tucker has suffered the same way as his brother. This one hit up to long on, where Joe Prendergast was fielding. And that just compounds his day as it goes for 4, and Pembroke are going to be needing over 11 and over in the chase. Do you think they'll get that?
You don't know what could happen.
Absolutely.
Could not get it, or they could get it.
Well, those are the 2 options. Another big hit. This one out to Cow. It's going to land in front of the fielder. They are going to keep running. They'll take 2 there.
Nope.
And in no time at all, O'Halloran has moved on to 1, 3, 4 not out off 64 deliveries.
Innings is finished.
He faced over half the deliveries, but by goodness, didn't he capitalise on that. 1, 3, 6. He now, well, before today, as I said, he had 22 runs. Well, he's getting a good round of applause there, and doesn't he deserve it?
Definitely deserves it. He's got over 100 runs.
134 runs.
Wow.
I can tell you that before tonight, Dio O'Halloran was only the 54th top run scorer in the Malahide club. He had 62 runs. He now has 198, and he goes from 54th up to 26th. Adam Doyle, who came in and smeared a few around, well, he's the 2nd highest run scorer in Malahide this season. He got another 37 today, and now he's passed 700 runs for the season. So many congratulations to Adam Doyle. He's done really well.
Yep. Very well.
And, well, I was speaking earlier at 133 for 3. I was saying at that stage that perhaps that should be an Irish commentator's number. We ended up with the Australian one after all, 222. Well, we'll take you through the batting card first of all. We'll have a look at the batting card.
Yep.
Well, that first over from Cosgrave brought 2 early wickets. Were you here when the wickets fell?
Yep.
Excellent. Well, you netting at that stage, weren't you?
Yep.
More training. Good man.
Yep.
And then you see David O'Halloran, 136 not out. Mohit Sane, well, himself and O'Halloran put the first partnership on of 89. And then the second partnership, well, my goodness, it's 126, unbroken. One good thing for Pembroke, number of extras kept to a very reasonable level. You see now the bowling figures. Who do you think was the best bowler today?
Tucker.
Well, Fikra Tucker, he went at 12 and over. And in
He had
fact,
a great action.
none of the bowlers there will be particularly happy with their work. Only Sumit Kumar remaining under 10 and over. But the 2 wickets that Cosgrave took fell in the first over. And then Joe Prendergast picked up that LBW at the end of a very long over. Tough day for Pembroke in the field.
Yep.
Anything that could have been caught was, but unfortunately there are far too many that just were out of reach, not quite there, over the boundary. And as a result, Malahide find themselves having scored 222 for 3. And Jake and I will return for the second innings
Yep.
in a few minutes. Well, welcome back to Sydney Parade for this Thursday evening T20 Demolition Derby. I say Demolition Derby because that's what it appears to be at the moment. How many did Malahide get, Jake?
222.
222.
A lot of runs.
It is a huge amount of runs. Pembroke are going to need 11.15 and over, and that figure could go up very quickly. Nobody's provided us with a DL sheet. Scorers connecting with the umpires. Umpire calls play, and Kay Donnelly, who didn't get a chance to bat, comes in to open the bowling. It's in the air. It goes to points. They go through for the single.
First run of the innings.
One on the board. The funny thing is, though, even taking one means that the run rate required goes up. Nearly 2 a ball required. And Pembroke have opened with Mickle Wright and Cosgrave. They'll be quick between the wickets, and both of them also have big blades. Mickle Wright opens in Cape Town. That thuds into Mickle Wright's midriff. Dot ball. You can hear those horns out on the bay. It sounds like a Zula Zayla.
Vuvuzela's right railway.
Yeah, they're out somewhere. Must be a South African team around somewhere. Hit straight back at the bowler, no chance of a run there. That's just one off the first 3 balls. And now we're joined by the bells of the church. At 6, I presume that's 6 o'clock, is it? Yep, yep. I suggest that somebody down in Marion Road might wish to check their timings of their broadcast. Well, Mickle Wright has gone big with that. It's a lovely shot. It's to the longest part of the ground. Paul Lawson admiring that shot, that's for sure. He knows they need a lot more than that. But it's a good start. And Mickle Wright gets off the mark. Be interesting to see how this reply goes. That's a good ball, but it's been driven beautifully by Mickle Wright. He's gone down the ground. Bowler put a hand out towards it.
Great for it.
Excellent for, yes indeed.
They're doing well here.
Still need a 2 to be just behind, or a 3 to get ahead.
And this one's cut away, and it's cut away beautifully, and it runs into the fence just in front of Peter Prendergast and Shagata Gupta as they wander down the bar. Further up to the right, mate. It's going to be a bit of a search for this one now, and at the end of the over, 13 without loss. And Mickle Wright, well, he made hay. He got 12 in that over. Cosgrave off the mark, off the first ball. Very different to the first over of the first innings,
Yep.
when we saw 2 wickets fall.
Bring up the worm now while we're in the lead. Quick, quick.
Yes, yes, Pembroke Worm will be ahead now. Yay!
So it'll draw the second over.
But look at that worm by Malahide. So impressive. And Pembroke are going to have to keep it going at this. It has now.
It's annoying the way it does that, isn't it?
Tips it over. It's assuming that no runs are going to be scored in the second over. But as they're scored, it will update and it will creep up and it will turn and it will head north. But it really needs to head a long way north. You see those two blue dots at the end of the first over. Well, that was the work of McDara Cosgrave.
Oh.
Now O'Halloran, he starred with the bat. Can he now star with the ball? Cosgrave again, getting off strike with the first delivery. I knew that didn't look right. They'd moved the sight screen all the way over there, and then the umpire stood as if it was right arm over. Right arm around to the left-handed Mickle right. Push it through for the single. That's all it will be. Many thanks to all of you out there who have subscribed and have seen our subscriber numbers surpass 750 now. Thank you very much to each and every one of you out there who has subscribed. And if you haven't, you might consider doing so. You get notifications of when the next broadcast is. There aren't too many left this season. Well, wouldn't it be nice in April to get a nice reminder that it's cricket season again? With a reminder from YouTube, Cosgrave scooping that one round on the leg side. Is it going to make the fence? It is indeed, and that's a super shot by McDara Cosgrave. Super shot?
Yep.
Also, we do appreciate all the likes that the channel and the video get. So, don't be afraid to use your mouse occasionally. Two more subscribers today, I think. This one, it's a full toss and it's played away to the leg side. There is a fielder out there. They'll keep that down to just a single, and that's a shame as far as Pembroke are concerned. This Pembroke chase well underway now. 20 without loss off the first 10 balls. Certainly up with the rate. And Mickle Wright goes big on the offside, and he knew once he cleared the ring that there were no other fielders out there, and it was just a matter of getting enough on it for it to run away to the railway line. Is that the sort of shot you like?
Yep.
Up over the fielders. Take a few now. Don't just take one. That's nicely played away. It beats the fielder in the ring. He has trouble gathering it, and it's going to let them get through for two. Well run. Without loss. Two. Oh, you have to get your sugar levels up. Danishes, coffee. He's on his third espresso this time. Quick visit from Paul Lawson to the commentary box.
Yep.
Oh, McDara Cosgrave now. He's on 7. Oh, that's a super shot. That is a class shot. Now, I still think O'Halloran's shot was the nicer.
Yep.
But that was absolute class. Just came down, smooth as you like, all done with timing, clear the fielders in the ring. He knew what he was doing. 4 more runs to Pembroke. And the chase is on.
Yep.
Less than 200 required now.
170 they need to get to 200. Great shot.
Tries to take on the same shot again. The throw from the fielder goes wide, but there is backing up. There's lots of noises tonight. Had the horns coming from the docks, then the church bells, and now we've got somebody doing some soaring or something. It's not soaring, is it? It's not hoovering either, though.
It's definitely not farting.
Super shot, beats the fielder. It's going to run away to the boundary. I don't think anybody's going to chase that down. The only reason for running and picking that one up is to get ahead on the light. Another super shot from Micklewright. He's showing what he's capable of. He scored a 50 recently.
Wicket there. 35 for 1.
Well, Micklewright trying to find the boundary one more time. And on this occasion, falling to the catch. And he's on his way after a very good 23 off 10 deliveries. His highest score this year, 56. He's averaging 14 with the bat, so he did well today. 2 50s and 265 runs before today, so 288. Still well short of qualifying for the batting trophy. I see in 17th place, and I don't often say that, 17th place on the run scorers in Pembroke this year, Theo Lawson, 303. Obviously,
Prendergast coming in.
limited with his chances. He's batted 8 times, and he averages over 50. So it was with some surprise I heard that the 2023 season will be Theo's last with the first 11. Theo will be looking to get Pembroke back into the Premier League and then ride off into the sunset so he can enjoy some time. Oh, that's a good shot. It's hit straight back down the ground. And that's a... Well, 4 more onto the total, and Prendergast announces himself. But yeah, Theo Lawson has announced that if Pembroke collect 23 points on Saturday, the day of the annual dinner, then that will have been his last hurrah for Pembroke in his current career. Will always have the chance when his young family perhaps has got a little bit older. But I hope that next year, season 2024, we'll see Theo doing laps with Peter Prendergast, doing laps with Andrew Balburney and Luke.
Yep.
Pembroke once again can become, well, for the probably about the 3rd time in my career, become a creche. But it's great to see. And we don't want to lose Theo completely from the club. Too valuable a member for that. And batting will certainly be missed by Pembroke. One of the all-time greats for Pembroke. Third on the all-time Pembroke list. Only 2 players ahead of him. Ken Hope, who has over 10,000 runs, and Breen O'Rourke, who also has over 8,000. Absolute stalwart of the club, has captained on many, many occasions, and in the future I'd like personally to see him take up a committee role and not be lost to the club entirely. He's had 289 innings and 47 not outs. A higher score of 122, and all that time as McDara smacks another 4 straight back down the ground.
Straight 4 there.
In all that time, Theo has averaged 35. He's had 53 half-centuries and 13 centuries. Oh, sorry, 13 ducks. He's had 7 centuries and 53 50s. 302 matches for Pembroke. Well, McDara is taking off where Zach left on. And he's starting to smack those boundaries around. He's moved on to 20 from just 8 deliveries. This is starting to get interesting now. 47 for 1, and this is the 4th over. Well, a missed field lets them get through for the single. That will bring Captain Joe Prendergast on to strike. So if you are around on Saturday, it may just be your last opportunity as the catch is taken in the deep and Captain Joe Prendergast perishes for just 4 runs looking for the big, big shot. Good catch, though.
Yep, very good catch.
Malahide will,
8 for 2.
Malahide will be very happy now with the score, as you've just heard, 48 for 2. Well, McDara Cosgrave, you can have one. Do you want one as well? Just don't tell your mother. So Mohit Sani, he was part of a stand of 89 earlier, and now he's picked up the 2nd wicket. And, well, Pembroke will keep sending out the big hitters. And Malahide will keep taking the catches.
48 for 2.
.48 for 2. .4 overs, 22 deliveries gone, 48 for 2 on the board, and Greg Hollins has come to the middle. Greg, another one who's in contention for, well, the batting cup as well as the wicket-keeping cup. Will he win either one? Well, you'll find out on September the 9th. That's when we're going to have the awards night this year. At the moment, Greg Hollins has 529 runs and an average over 40 and a highest score of 102 as he scored 1 century, 3 half-centuries. He has scored 14 sixes this year. Well, his captain's going to want him to score plenty more today. This one just played into the leg side. Very sensible. Take the run on offer. Retains the strike at the end of the 4th over. The score is
50 for 2.
so the first 50 runs coming up off the first 24 deliveries. Pembroke have managed to lose 2 wickets, but they've also managed to bring down the required run rate. It's now standing at 10.81. McDara Cosgrave, another batsman who's over 500 this year. With the 22 he has now, he's up to 549. He's averaging about 25 and has a high score of 69. Well, the light is consistent. This overcast sky, not letting any sunlight through. All the light we are seeing is diffused.
Solid cloud.
Maxoud now to come on at the St John's end. A bit more pace.
Great shot there.
Wasn't a great shot. He got the bat on it.
He's
It's
got the bat on it.
squirted out, and they've got a run.
At least they got it on.
Absolutely, they need every one of those. After this, there'll just be 15 overs remaining. And at the moment, that required run rate has come down, but at the cost of 2 wickets. Captain has gone. Zach Micklewright has departed. Firmly hit on the offside. There is a boundary rider there who will pick that up handily enough. And they'll keep that to the single.
I'm 51 off. 3 overs.
Malahide wouldn't mind if the rest of this game was run a ball. You do get the feeling Pembroke are going to be doing well to get anything in this game. Well, that's a super shot from McDara Cosgrave. He's got underneath that inside the line and just lifted it down to the equipment shed. Super shot. 4 more runs onto the total. 4 more runs for him. The score has moved on to 56. And McDara moves on to 27 from just 12 deliveries. Did you like that shot?
Yep.
Nicely played out to the leg side. They're looking for 2. Hollins thinks about it. The early call was 2, but it was well fielded. Picked up at the first attempt, and that scared the Pembroke players into not even attempting a second, which would have been foolhardy, to put it mildly. Pembroke first at the moment, training. Big game for them on Saturday. Game against Rush. If they can pick up 23 points in that game, the championship title will be theirs. A big appeal from Malahide, but personally I felt there was an awful lot of bat involved there. What did you think? Did you think he hit that?
Nope. I heard the pad.
You heard the pad only, did you?
Yep.
Well, that's probably what Malahide heard as well. Just 1 ball remaining in this 5th over. Another big appeal. I thought the bat was on the ground that time. Not out as cool. It's a dot ball, just 7 from the over, and a successful over for Malahide.
I think I heard the nick there.
Did you thought you heard a nick there?
Yep.
No, I thought it was bat on the ground, and the umpire agreed with me. But 57 now for 2 off 5 overs. Going along at 11 and over. And they've brought the required rate to just under 11 and over. So they're on target. And what a season for McDara. He's now passed 550 runs for the season.
Yep.
Always feel that qualifying for the batting trophy at 400 runs is a fairly good mark. And at the moment, 10 players have got over 400 runs. Pembroke could do with somebody getting 100 today. Big shot, straight over the bowler's head, long on, goes for it, but it's perfectly pitched. Sort of 8-iron really, with a little bit of backspin, landing on the green. Super shot. Hollins will feel a lot better for having middled that one, and middle it he did. What did you think of that? This time he hits it out to long on. They call for 2. The fielder again with the clean pickup, and that's why we practice fielding, save runs like that. So which teams were you playing on this year, Jake?
I was playing Malahide, Rush. I think I was playing Rush.
And did you play in the World Cup down here?
Yep. We lost in the semi-final.
He's given him LBW. Did you think that was out?
Yep.
Yep, it did look out, didn't it? He went down to sweep. And that's the end of McDowell Cosgrave. He's gone for 28 off just 15 deliveries. Well, he got his side off to the sort of start they were hoping for. But now the third wicket has fallen. And that's the end of McDowell Cosgrave. 28 off 15 balls. How was he out?
LBW.
5 fours in his total. You finished for the moment, are you? Or you just easier not to hold it? Well, you leave it in the stand there, because I can still hear you. Fikra Tucker, the batsman who can hit big, hit well. Hasn't played too many games this year. 16 games, batted 10 times, averaging 27. 250s to his name. And he's gone first ball. 4 down. Mohit is now on a hat-trick. He's on a hat-trick as Fikra Tucker makes the long walk back. What's the score now then, Jake?
65 for 4.
65 for 4. And Mohit, well, he'll have the chance of the hat-trick now. And who's coming to bat?
Gupta.
Sahil Gupta. One of the classiest batsmen in the club. Always looked good. Well, many thanks to the 44 of you who are currently tuned. 45 of you are currently watching this game. This second 11 Premier League refix game between Pembroke and Malahide. Given extra spice. Pembroke top of the table at the moment, but one wonders if they'll still be there come the weekend. The way this game is going for them. Oh, the hat-trick ball goes between keeper and slip, and it runs away for 4. But that very easily, Mohit Sane is wondering what he has to do to take a hat-trick. And that one flew between keeper and first slip, and the chance is gone. And Gupta gets off the mark with his first delivery going for a boundary. The score is now
69 for 4.
And good evening, James. Yes, Pembroke currently top of this league. Malahide aren't mathematically out of it yet.
I'm going to say hi to my mum.
Anytime, Jake, anytime. Jake just finishing his stint in the commentary box for the moment. Now you're just left with me. Sorry about that. Well, that's a good start. Stump to stump. You miss, I hit. Sunil Gupta, he's only played 2 games for Pembroke this year between Trinity and injury. Well, Hollis with a lot of bottom hand, a lot of power into that shot, but it went straight to the fielder. Well, he may have only played twice. He batted twice. He's been not out once, so his total runs are 48. Also, his highest score, and also his average. 29 in one game, 19 in the other. Well, that's in the air. There's no fielder going to catch it, though, but they will be quick enough to prevent a second being taken. Hollins back on strike. Khanduja bowling from the St John's End. Unusual action. And this one's hit out, but there's 2 fielders there. And again, just a single. And all these aren't really helping the Pembroke cause. You saw plenty in the first innings where it's just out of the reach of the fielder. Just out of the reach of a catch. Just out of the... I mean, it would almost be worth watching back. This one is clipped away off his pads for 4 runs, and Sunil Gupta does look good, doesn't he? End of the over. The score has moved on to 76 for 4. And Sunil Gupta moves on to 9. And there's 13 overs left. And we'll bring you up to date with how the worm looks. And you can see Pembroke actually well ahead at this stage. Except that slope does get steeper and steeper during the Malahide innings. So Greg Hollins now will be on strike. He'll be looking to go big and go straight here, one suspects. He waited on it. He's gone big, that's for sure. And it's gone for 6. Nice catch, but unfortunately outside the field of play. Hollins picks up another 6. Moves him on to 17. And it is vital that Pembroke have a good partnership. The dart rolling back into town, having taken the early finishers home for the evening. Single taken, miss hit off the inside edge. That brings Hollins on to strike. Strike rate of 150. This one he can only play back to the bowler. This one played down to long off, just be a single. So once again, the big news tonight. Theo Lawson, who might not be tonight's big news. I just may be behind the times. But Theo Lawson, it's his final season, and we're coming right to the end of it now. There is an appeal, but that was going way down the leg side. So, end of the over, 9 coming from it, and Pembroke now need 11.5 and over from 12 overs. Yes, Theo Lawson, so long. I remember when the Lawson family came over to us from Clontarf. Amanda? Thank you. They've been such an integral part of the club since. As I say, Theo, third highest run scorer for Pembroke of all the records we have, certainly amongst first team players. Ken Hope, Breen O'Rourke.
Why are they all sticky?
Jake had a couple he licked and didn't like, so he put them back in. So Tanvir coming on for his first over, and it's Hollins to face, leg spin, and Hollins goes big, but it's only as far as the fielder, who takes the simple catch. He got underneath it and just sliced it up into the air. Another wicket falls. That's 5 down with 85 on the board, and Malahide getting ever closer to win this second 11 Premier League game, refix game. Thing is, these two sides again will meet in the cup final on Sunday in Belbrigan. Those of you who aren't playing for the Fifths on Sunday might consider a trip up the M1. The Bell family might consider a family haircut. Their hairdresser's out Skerry's way, I believe.
Bell family.
But the Bell family, yes. Graham Mooney, of course, he's already out in Swords, so it's almost a home fixture for him, Belbrigan. Dale McDonough is the new batsman. Dale had a super knock the other day. We saw here on Pembroke TV, Pembroke Live. Dale McDonough, 176 runs this season. With a highest score of 34.
Your mother's gone to
Well, there you go. You're in a group.
Oh, that's the group that you left.
Well, rain was somewhat forecast for this evening. We've now reached the stage where this is definitely a game. And I think we've reached the stage where Pembroke are well behind on DL. Oh, it's 12 overs, isn't it?
Well, it is in the women's. It is in the women's.
That doesn't mean it isn't this. I'm guessing 10.
You see, this is why I don't read any of the regs, because I'd suddenly go, oh, hang on, it's 6 for them and 10 for them and 12 for them, and what about if it's played on a Thursday? So we stay well away from that sort of things.
No, Graham isn't playing on Sunday, so he's probably scoring from twos. Got to search for another medal. Hot hunting.
That should really be an award by itself, shouldn't it? I mean, he's the only man in the club with 2 All-Ireland medals.
Hot hunter of the year. Let's have a look at the regs and see what constitutes a game. And a is this the T20 regs or is it the
No, it's the 40 over regs. Dale just plays one into the offside. He brings Gupta back on strike. Gupta is 14 off 9 deliveries. He seems to have just slipped to that score without really trying. Will he be the one to try and take Tawade on now? He wanted to come down the track to him. Had to change his shot, change his mind. Takes a single. That brings the score on to 92. Trouble for Pembroke, of course, is those 5 wickets are down. And it's been partnerships that Malahide have, that Pembroke haven't. Sunil. Oh, that's not gone where he wanted it to at all. Still picks up a single for it. Cut away. It's going to beat the short third fielder. He is going to catch it up. He's going to pull it up in front of the boundary. Just in front of us here, down at the Aidan Memorial, Aidan Dempsey Media Centre. Another sponsorship opportunity for anybody who wants to throw a few quid in. Help us upgrade our facilities here. Another single taken on the offside. Dana just stroking the ball away. He's now 4 off 4. That's the end of the over. Good over for Malahide. Just 7 coming from it. And we're at the halfway mark, and Pembroke are 97 for 3 from 10 overs. Obviously, even I can work out that they need 126 from the other 10 overs. And that means they need over 2 a ball. If they're to get it, they're going to need a big partnership from these two. Well, the tamest of wickets, Gupta trying to play that one over the fielder at mid-off. Instead, could only find his hands. And that's 6 wickets down with 98 on the board. We'll show you the batting card. after another tame wicket. It's Donica Tucker who comes to the middle. And at this stage, one has to feel that it's bonus points that Joe's team, JP, is going to be looking for. Malahide will be looking to take all 25 points. And the way it's gone so far, one has to say that Malahide deserve this. Halloran bowled, batted absolutely beautifully for his 134 of 60-odd deliveries. And Pembroke's hopes now starting to slide away. That one's going to beat the fielders. It's going to make it to the boundary. 4 more for the total, and that brings up the 100 for Pembroke. A few players have managed to get themselves in, but subsequently nobody pushing on. And that's the shame of it. 4 wickets left for Pembroke. 120 runs required. And just 56 deliveries. Now, if we're in the IPL, you might say that that's about a 50-50 guess, but we're not at the IPL. We don't have the batting roads that they do across the subcontinent. And as a result, 120 or 56 was always going to be tricky, especially with your 6 best batsmen back in the hutch. But this has been a fine all-round performance. As you can see, first training, my goodness, it's a heavy workload these guys take on. I don't know if I could stand many training sessions like this. Poor. The only difference between them and me is not a single cigarette between any of them. Right, back to the game. Well, you talk about having an off day. I think collectively the 11 of Pembroke would describe this not as one of their finest hours. Moving the sight screen at the far end. As he decides to come round the wicket to the left-handed. Tucker. Dunner very keen for the second. Wasn't to be. Let's play how high can the run rate get. Up to 13.5 now.
Very unacceptable guess.
Play down to third. There'll be a run there. Oh, a slip from the fielder. You can see he's not wearing studs, just normal runners. There's just a little bit of dew on the ground now. And you find the foot slipping. It depends if they bat. If they bat the 20th over.
I'm thinking about what would it be going into the last over.
Yeah.
I'm going to go 66.
Oh, Donica Tucker pulling that one over towards the bar, but there is cover there. Shame last night. Cut away down towards third. The fielder will pick it up just at the ring. And again, his runners letting him down. Found his posterior adjacent to the grass. The one grass stain you always want to avoid. You don't mind it. Yeah, you don't mind it up the legs, but on the posterior, it just looks Robin Hughes-ish. Great to hear from Robin Hughes via video message for the reunion the other night. Hope somebody gets in touch with him and lets him know these games are on. John O'Brien asked me what the dress code was. I didn't look at my text and autocorrect didn't do anything for me. So I told him he needed a short tie. Short tie and jacket.
No, there is no dress code. Just smart casual.
Well done, matey.
Shirt, tie, jacket.
Doesn't mean you need a tie, but if he wants to wear a tie.
Trousers are optional.
Yes. Smart casual would be the way to go.
Yeah, smart casual means different things to different people. Niall's wearing his dinner outfit now. That's the sort of thing he turns up to the dinner in. He doesn't turn up for the meal. He'll be in for a drink later on.
I haven't even done that for a good few years.
Well done, mate.
You did it a few years ago because I seem to remember you taking somebody home from the...
Oh, I did that a few years in a row, alright. Some lifts.
That was us, wasn't it?
Yeah, you definitely got it. I'm pretty sure you got a lift.
Yeah, but 700 yards.
Well, no,
No, when we were living.
Oh, Terry Newer.
Terry Newer.
This one pushed through a bit quicker, hits him on the pads. The umpire says not out. The fielder throws and throws down the stumps, but safely home for the single. McDonough gets a leg bye for that. And I'm only going to tell you when it passes another number. And it's past 14 now.
What's that run rate?
Yep, and it's right on the cusp of 15. It's going up quite quickly.
And there, baby. It's green again.
At least they're moving it the right way.
Well, it's...
It goes too far the other way then.
Oh, yeah, no. Let's see how... Oh, look. It's... Nice.
Bowler fielding his own delivery. Dot ball. 15.
Well done, mate. Yeah, keep going to plan.
Well, when you need over 2 a ball, it becomes very, very difficult, even in the IPL. And to keep up that rate of scoring for over 7 overs would be quite incredible. Goes for the reverse. Pops over the keeper's head, but it will just be another single. McDonough doing anything he can to try and find the boundary. He's retained the strike, and after 13 overs, the score's moved on to 1-1-3 for 6. And we're trying to show you just the difficulty that Pembroke find themselves in now. The line's about to cross, have crossed. From here on in, the Malahide line powers on upwards. And at the moment, the Pembroke line is flattening out. And you can see all those orange dots. That's what's making a big difference here as far as this game is concerned. Those two teams will meet again on Sunday, the day after the annual dinner. I'm sure Joe will be imposing a curfew on his players at the dinner, especially after this performance. Mind you, he might also do the opposite and end up buying them all tequila in the hope that that might inspire them. This one has gone away to the boundary down at the Willfield Road gate. 4 more to McDonough. He moves on to 20. You know you're talking about me because my ears started burning in here. Showing the bowler, bit of movement in the crease. Pumps it out on that side, and they're going to try and come back for two. They could be in trouble. Direct hit would have had in. The bowler left it because he thought it was going to hit. It slid past the stumps, and they survive, and two more. But even two a ball isn't enough. A few people have made their way down to watch this game now. Getting dark. Although I do feel it's going to brighten up in the next few minutes. The darker clouds moving away and the sun starting to peek through. Reverse again. This time it beats the man at third. He's going to chase it down though. He gets to it before the boundary. His footwear lets him down again. Somebody needs to get that man a set of spikes. 16.
For the super over.
100 off 37 balls is Niall's dream at this stage.
Except there's no super overs.
It's gone past the first fielder.
He's wary of his footwear.
He's slipped over 3 times already. That's why he's wary.
He's went 3 overs. So.
He doesn't want to do himself an injury, so
So McDonough's moved on to 25. Pembroke have moved on to 124. And the gap between them, if it's done on the 40 overs regs, Pembroke have picked up a point.
But it won't be.
I don't know.
I suspect it's 60 runs.
For being less than 100 behind.
I'm sure it's not.
Hey, I don't know the regs. We'll wait for Steve Wood to phone in. To wait. Well, we've seen him slip over a few times. How's his delivery strike going to be? He's not going at the pace to worry. McDonough going too far back on that one and took out his own stumps. Hit wicket, one of the more unusual dismissals in cricket and one of the most annoying for a batsman. Well, with that wicket, one feels that Pembroke's hopes really are slipping away now. That's how Malahide got to their total of 222 for 3. And this is the Pembroke card in reply. Scoring at 8 3/4. And they're just a touch under 17 and over required with just 3 wickets left. Well, the seconds have turned to youth now. The first of the Murrays, Dan, has come in to bat. Dan Murray, currently 7th in the run scoring charts. He scored 509 runs this season. Fine season with the bat. He has 100, which he got for the thirds, and 150. He has hit 6 sixes, so he knows where the boundaries are. His score of 105. That was scored down here for the thirds. Oh, it hits that one straight down the ground. There is a fielder there, but they're going to look for two. It depends on the throw. And the throw is wide of the stumps. And Murray gets off the mark. They're going to take two on the misfield, and they need to. On 28 for 7. It's all about closing the margin of victory. Nicely lifted down the ground, in the air for 50 yards. Required rate now, 18.19. They take on the fielder and they get through for the single. Of course, you forget that all the different ringtones. This is the one they use for Kieran Volker. Hope Kieran is tuned in, middle of the night, or very early in the morning. Jet lag working well, is it, Kieran?
Yeah, but it's dark. It's 5 a.m. probably isn't.
See you, Theo. Definitely be down now. As if the dinner wasn't enough, and the first team playing here wasn't enough, and the bar being open wasn't enough.
Will the bar be open?
The bar will be open on Saturday. Big swing from Tucker. Not there for him on this occasion. $19. Now the umpire's going to signal out something, surely. You can't get a run for that sort of shot. That one goes away nicely. Chance for these batsmen to get some runs.
For a ball, they'll still do it. Try to use it as a sunblock. Yeah.
Great to see the sun out August evening, the end of August. Definite call a no on this occasion as Murray tries the reverse. It's in the air. There is a fielder underneath it. It gets over him and runs to the boundary. Another 4 runs for Pembroke. Another 4 runs for Dan Murray. He was fortunate to get away with that one. Well, you can see many arms folded, hands in pockets. Pensive looks. Do they feel that this could be the fading of their dream of winning the Cup and League double. They'll want to get their revenge on Sunday in Balbriggan. I know they'd appreciate all the support they could possibly get out there on Sunday. Would love to be there myself. Unfortunately selected for the fifths. End of the over. 16 gone, 140 on the board. They're going along quite nicely, Pembroke, today. If they'd been batting first and scored this, we'd be quite happy. But as it is, they're not batting first. They're chasing a very large 222 for 3 that Malahide put up, thanks to 136 for David O'Halloran in 2 big partnerships, one of 89 with Mohit Sane and one of 126 with Adam Doyle. And that's put Malahide in pretty much an winning position. Nice shot round to the leg side, picked that up very nicely. It runs across to the grass, picking up a little bit of the dew perhaps, and collects Pembroke another 4 runs. 6 was it? Excellent, thank you very much. If it was you bowling, you'd say 4. Quick discussion between Malahide captain and umpire. So now you want everyone to bowl left arm round. Yeah. Now, some of them don't notice when it's not there. Goes big again. Reaches the outside of the ring. And it will just be a single to Murray. And he's doing very well. He's moved on to 21 off just 11 deliveries. And he's getting Pembroke close to that 150 mark. They're 147 for 7. 21 balls in which to get 76 runs. Donica Tucker sends one out to the boundary. The 2 fielders perfectly placed. They converge exactly at where the ball is. That's a well-placed field. $20 balls to get 75 runs at 22.5 and over.
Keep them under 24.
5 fours and a 3. They get through for the single. 149 for 7 now. Evening, Peter. Did you drive down separately to your son?
Yes, thankfully.
Peter Prendergast heading off on what must be his 5th lap today. He's done a few in partnership, but now has seen off all his pursuers. That's the end of the over as called by the umpire. 10 come off it, but when you need 24 and a third, 10 isn't going to cut it. We'll give that one the little sound effect, I think. $24.33.
I can't find, there's the general playing regulations, but where does it give me the points and all that?
Pembroke have reached 150. Dan Murray, 22. It's actually Donica Tucker who's facing now. You can tell because he's left-handed.
Premier's Division 4.
Can't just read one document. Hi, Zoe. Big blow from Tucker out onto the leg side. It bounces in front of the fielder and it's brought back into the bowler. And just a single results from what was a big swing of the bat. The sun is doing its best to break through that cloud. Don't think it's going to be able to. And yet out on the coast side, beautiful blue sky. The perfect example of the microclimate we have here. Look where the clouds are And look where they aren't. And that's because we have this beautiful little sea breeze comes in and just keeps all those clouds away. Fires that one in. Dan Murray playing it into his own foot, I think, by the way. He's just a little bit of a hobble there for a moment. Touch the Brian closest. There we go. If you pan around. It's an appeal for stumping. It's given not out by the umpire. You'll be able to make up your own minds. So just to remind you, you can rewind YouTube by 10 seconds at a time. Do it now or before. Oh, too late. You have to do it twice now and go back 20 seconds.
There you go. So this is including T20 refixes. So we have to be
Within 40 runs.
no, within 39 runs to get a point.
Okay. Well,
How many wickets? How many Malahide wickets did we take?
oh, it doesn't matter because it's done by runs.
Oh, right, okay, it doesn't.
Good evening, Mr. Goff.
So we really need to.
Need 32 runs off these last 14 balls to even pick up a point in this. Otherwise, Malahide will be travelling back up to the estuary with a full bag of 25 points. Bye.
Bye.
Zach summoning them back to the car.
They need to be within 39.
34.5.
Still not snookers. So what's like, I guess 66 to play for the last leg?
Moving at the sight screen, as you can tell. We apologise for those of you who are feeling slightly seasick now. The sun really is trying to break through. It really is trying to be a late summer evening. All the pitch has gone blank. Oh, Niall's going to go nuts. I don't even know what he presses. I know you can hear me out there.
Picture's gone blank.
Oh, lovely.
Picture is restored, although not the straight one, so you'll bear with us. Technical difficulties.
Might not be coming back at this point.
Goes for the ram shot, doesn't come off, doesn't get any bat on it. Well, Dan Murray now
Probably has to come down.
up to 533 runs for the season.
Maybe. In fact, it went and we moved it.
Just because it went off when you moved it. Who's this bowling?
Donnelly, he opened the bowling earlier on. Hides that one outside the off stump. Batsman looks at the umpire. The umpire shakes his head. No, Sonny. That was well inside the line. No wide for you today. Dan Murray has to just shake that off. He's scoring at 150. Doesn't need to worry about the wide. I know he's keen to face, to play as many of these balls as possible. Played away on the offside. Man there inside the ring does the fielding. Another single to Murray, who moves on to 25 now. Donica. Donica. The other one. Take the A out.
I have no idea where that went.
Well, 6 more onto the total as Tucker takes on the bowling. Best of 61 this year, Donica. 262 runs with a best score of 61 not out. Averaging over 21. Having a very good season with the bat. Playing a lot of games, 27 games. This one pulled out to square leg. Just the one. And just 7 balls remaining in this match. And it's been a comprehensive win for Malahide. They've done everything exceptionally well. The fact that Pembroke have reached 161, 162, does show you that, well, they weren't too far away. This one played out square. Slightly in front of square, not quite covers. There or thereabouts, 163. And that's the end of the over. And Pembroke need 20 off the final over to get a point. And the last time to annoy everybody with this, but new game. Let's go with 60.
I guess 66.
You did guess 66.
What? Oh, the run rate?
Yes.
The last over.
Yeah, there's 188.
No, I'm sorry, that DL was totally wrong. DL at this stage probably has to be about 210. Final over, Murray facing. And he goes straight down the ground. Long on, fields it at long off. They'll take 2. Yeah, we're only on this camera at the moment.
Yeah.
Because that's that one.
That shows the other.
Dot ball. Well, I'd greet that with a lot more excitement if it wasn't for the fact that Pembroke need 58 from 4 deliveries. Next dot ball, we'll see it go over 100. $116. There. And thus it ended not with a bang, but with a whimper. No ball, free hit. No, no ball. There are, yeah. There seems to be a question about how many are inside or outside the ring. I think there's more than enough outside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 are outside the ring. Lads, they need 58 from 3 balls. Why don't you all come in? I don't think this really matters. Powered down the ground this time by Tucker. They go for the 2. They run into each other. and somehow complete the run.
Oh, why was that off camera?
That was
Because
he was following the ball,
down there
Oh, you were following
coming
the
in,
ball.
so I
and the other camera isn't working, so they're going to get away with that.
just heard the big thud.
Yeah.
Big swing. And with one ball remaining,
What are we up to?
324. Those of you who guessed 324, give yourselves a pat on the back. Also, give me the lottery numbers for next week. 54 from one ball. Keep running, keep running, keep running. They get the 4 for it. That will take them up to 173 for 7. And they will lose by 50 runs. Just 11 runs away from gaining a point. But a very good partnership at the end between Tucker and Murray. Well, not a game that the Pembroke second 11 will look back on with any fondness at all. We'll take you through the tail of the tape. 2 wickets fell in the first over, and hope and optimism must have been overflowing at the pool of JP. However, it wasn't to last long that somebody pulled the plug out, and that optimism and hope just ran away over the course of the next 19 overs. It wasn't Adam Doyle, it was Aaron Doyle who got the runs. My apologies to Aaron. He got 37 and put together 126 or something with David O'Halloran. David O'Halloran, the obvious star and player of the match. Mohit Sane, well, he combined with O'Halloran to put on 89 before Doyle and O'Halloran put on, well, the rest. Malahide got up to 222 for 3. And here is the Pembroke bowling card for those of you of a nervous disposition or members of the Pembroke bowling attack tonight. Look away now. Not the prettiest figures we've seen from any of the bowlers, and in combination, well, that was a tough one for the seconds. Malahide getting away to that massive total of 222 for 3. In reply, well, Pembroke, few players got in, most players got in. The only ones who didn't were Captain Joe Prendergast and Fiacre Tucker. Talked Fiacre up, and I apologise for that, Fiacre. McDowell, Cosgrave and Zach Micklewright, well, they put on a good opening stand. But after that, wickets were falling too regularly and too quickly as Pembroke started chasing runs. One of the wickets of the day, I suppose, was the hit wicket by Dale McDonough. He went late and back and late and later, and he just came round. By the time he had any follow-through on his shot, he took out his stumps. Run rate of over 8.5, very good from Pembroke, but it wasn't enough when they were chasing over 11 to start with. There is the Malahide bowling card, 7 bowlers used. Everything spread around. O'Halloran, well, he'd been the star with the bat, but with the ball, he went for 13 in his 1 over. Captain pulled him from that attack very quickly. But the rest of the bowling made up for that, and there was no problem at all. Mohit Sane, he ended up with 3 wickets for 35, and Tanvir at the end taking 2 for 21. Tawade was the other wicket taker along with Donnelly. And as you can see, the heart was ripped out of the Pembroke innings. Good stand at the start, but then 13, 17, nothing, 20, 13, 26. Nothing really there to write home about. And to see the tail of the tape, it's the worm. See that tape worm? No? Okay. Well, Pembroke were going well enough until about the 12th over, but they'd lost too many wickets. There were too many dots. Those 2 very early on in the first over, they belonged to Malahide. But they were only to lose 1 more wicket in that 20 overs. The rest of the other 19, and that curve just getting higher and higher. Pembroke started off well, but as you can see, in the 6th over, 2 wickets falling, and it really knocked the heart out of any sort of reply that they were going to have. So that's the end of this second 11 Premiership clash. Malahide won by 49 runs. They take home 25 points. As far as the league table is concerned, Pembroke will remain on 201 points. Railway Union 180.5. Merion 169, and Malahide 2s now will go above Merion with 177 points. Malahide also have a game in hand, and so in fact they could end up being very much in contention for this league. They're now 5 and 4. Pembroke are now 7, 2 and 3. And we'll wait to see when that table's updated as to what a difference that will make for Pembroke's second 11. Well, once again, just to remind you that Saturday sees the first 11 here playing against Rush, containing Pembroke old boy Alan Eastwood, who took career best figures of 8 for 29 last weekend in the championship, and we hope that he doesn't bring that sort of form back to Sydney Parade. He obviously will be keen to impress his former teammates and also to delay Theo Lawson's retirement by one more innings. If Pembroke get 23 points on Saturday, assuming that Phoenix pick up full points, then Pembroke would require 23 points to guarantee the championship title for 2023. Saturday night then, of course, we'll see the annual dinner. If you haven't already contacted Amanda Dunlop for your ticket, it's far too late to do so now. I really wouldn't even try now. Or if you do try, you might get in, but don't expect preferred reserve seating. You'll be at the table you're placed at this stage. Table plan is done. Tickets are bought, but 1 or 2 spaces, I suppose, could be made if you wish to join us. It's now turned into a beautiful August evening here, and whilst we're just starting to pack up, we'd like to thank everybody. Sunday we'll see this team playing that team again, and having lost by 49 runs in a T20, Joe Prendergast will be very keen for revenge on Sunday. Malahide will be hoping they didn't use up all their luck today. So that's the end of today's broadcast. We will see you again on Saturday. Enjoy your Friday evening without Pembroke Live TV. And thank you very much. And please do, if you haven't already, subscribe and like the channel. Thank you very much for joining us. And we'll talk to you again on Saturday.